just want to analyze this one again from a Pelon Cito. So it's Skywatcher, April 9th, 2014. It just, every time I look at it, I just find more things there. So I've zoomed into this area here. This is South Pole, which unusually we had that very huge rocket blast off 2009, the L-Cross bombing to look for ice. Now, just look at all that. I'm focusing on that area there. There's a rounded area, a dome that's coming out of there, little square excavations. I mean, this area is gigantic. That'll be about 20 k's high. That's a square type excavation. There's that process there, and I've zoomed in on all these other ones I didn't zoom in on before. That sort of process, that looks like it's actually floating there. There seems to be two rounder ones there as well. So I'll just zoom into those pictures now. They're very bizarre. The whole thing looks extraordinarily bizarre. So I'll actually use the camera iPhone as well. It's a HTC 5 megapixel. That whole area there, just look at it. So I'll try to zoom in on those things right now. So it's not that clear, but I mean, it's actually very cheap equipment. So I'll just play the video step by step. And you'll see that bizarre thing there. That is a perfect square. That's huge. 100k, 200k. It just, these things are massive. If this is according to scale, the objects here just don't make sense. There's a huge hole there. Now you've got two things that seem to float, and that object there seems to float. Just look at all that. It's like a huge wasp nest or hornet's nest. Now, there should be hardly any gravity on the South Pole, especially this high up. And that's, you'll see the rounded area, a dome there, that like square excavations. That thing isn't supported by anything there. That goes up. These things appear to be floating. Just look how bizarre those things are. How could they have grown on their own? I don't know. I'll try to also. How did I just enlarge that? Okay. Now, if I pause it, it'll just return. I'll try to zoom in on those areas as well. Let's throw it out again. Look at that, it just sticks up there. Square area, those bizarre shapes there. I'll pause it right there. Just look at that. It's rounded and you've got all these little square excavations around it. That thing there, that object seems to be floating. There's two darker objects there. These are so weird. I don't know what to think of these shapes. This keeps jumping in and out when I pause it. So I think he used a 76 millimeter telescope. I'm not sure what camera he used. It could be clearer, but that's all I can do at the moment. Let's return back to this spot here. This is where we go down to this area. I had to pause it quickly before. There. That whole area there looks as though things are actually built up. There's all these strange towers like that one. That looks so strange as a whole, and this tower just seems to shoot up there, probably 20, 30, 40 k's. Just crazy shapes, crazy sizes. They're not rocks. See, that's that area there. I'll enlarge the pictures now. I'll see if I can process these, but I think that's the best I can do. It has worked previously. I have processed them, so the images are so rough in this case, it could work. This shows you quickly how the process is performed. It has worked previously, so I might bring up stuff there that I haven't seen before. It actually has. If I adjust the detail, it could actually straighten that out. That's as clear as I can get that. Next picture as well. That strange object just seems to come out there. Now this requires a very good attempt if I can do it. I've seen a rounded area, looks like a dome in there, surrounded by small square areas. It's really, it begs a bit more than just your average attempt. So I'm going to try to do this as best I can. Okay, let's see what we've got. Tricky. The rounded area, the square areas, the dome. Not as clear as I wanted it. This area here is interesting because it shows those vertical processes coming up. I've never seen anything like that. It goes sideways, it goes up, this twists up. I don't know what's going on with these images. They're fantastic. That one there is really great. It shows like square areas, various layers as well. That square on the right as well. That area there. These areas are very peculiar as well. You've seen that one. This might get a bit of work on this one. This might show that area down the bottom, which I'm trying to get. There it is there. There's a dome there, square areas, and there's this huge thing there that just, there's a dome. That's a hard one to catch. Wow, there it is. There's the round dome sitting there. An object is over there. I'll try to sharpen the image. That is a good image. That's the first time I've seen that round object that sits in that, what looks like a dome. That's a square area. How is all this possible? I just don't know. If I play with the temperature, I might bring up the dome. It hasn't worked. Contrast might do the trick. It has. You'll see that rounded dome inside there. It's perfect. I still don't know what to think of these things. Next picture. That's it. We can go through the video again, but it just shows all the things that I was zooming in on. That seems to be floating. I'll just pause it right there. That object there seems to be floating. There's any support I can see near it. There. Then you've got the two dark rounded objects, the white dome there. That is not supported, that white object, by anything. Okay, that's enough.